Welcome to another segment of CUTV News. I'm Alexandra Chiantafilopoulos, and today we are pleased to speak with Shannon, director of her documentary film H2 Oil. First of all, congratulations are in order about your film. It's one of the first, in fact, the first feature-length documentary on the tar sands. So tell us how you got into this project, how you got inspired.
Friends of mine were actually the water bottlers that were in the film, and they started seeing some real problems with the water in Alberta and asked a few friends to come out. Myself and Alan Cole ended up making the trip to Alberta and following their investigation, which led us to really uncover what was happening in the tar sands. And after we understood what was going on, it was kind of no turning back from there. We wanted to make a film.
In light of this whole intensification process and the extraction of oil from the tar sands, water has become quite the focus of attention because it's not only a local issue, it's a global issue. Please tell us what the Conservative government is doing about this.
Yeah, I think that's the thing in the tar sands. You really see coming together some of the major issues that are facing our time. So we see this shortage of water. There's already wars being fought over access to fresh, clean water. And the tar sands processes can use up to 4 times the amount of water to get at 1 barrel of oil. So it's an extremely water-intensive process. And it also brings us to the end of crude oil, the age of oil that we've built all of this civilization around. And I think that you see the Harper government kind of absolutely in denial about the fact that we are facing catastrophic climate change, we're facing water shortages, and we're also facing the very real end of easily accessible oil. And basically they've got their head in the sand, and I think that it's really going to take the citizens to say we need the government to be accountable to the fact that we're really heading into a lot of crises modes.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you found in the local communities and the Aboriginal plight of the people that are affected by this?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Fort Chipewyan community, a First Nations community that's about 300 kilometers downstream, were really the heroes of this story, and they're really the heroes of, I think, bringing to light what we're going to be facing up ahead, all of us. This community were the first to start raising the alarms about rare cancers, autoimmune diseases, problems within the moose meat, high levels of arsenic in the moose meat, deformities in the fish. This community was really at the front line and continues to be at the front line of what the development really means for people's lives. People were dying in their community in really high numbers, and they started saying, we need studies that can actually show what's going on because we can see something's wrong here. So it was really through them that I got involved as well, and through the inspiration of following their story.
How much is Canada actually benefiting from this extraction process and the oil available to Canada? Where is it going?
That's one of the, I think, interesting aspects. Canada has really become a resource colony, and through the signing of agreements such as NAFTA and now other agreements like the Security and Prosperity Partnership, we're locked into resource agreements with the United States that mean that a lot of this energy production that's happening goes straight south.
So on one hand, as Canadians, we have the one beacon of being proud of saying we've got one of the, in fact, the largest reserve of petrolatum in the world. And on the other side of the coin, we have the socioeconomic impacts that we are affecting not only ourselves in our country, but the rest of the world. How do we leverage that?
I mean, Canada has become a global embarrassment, especially after these last Copenhagen talks, where Harper is just increasingly seen to be one of the biggest blockades in actually going forward in any kind of sane framework for climate change reduction. And I think it really ends up back in our hands as citizens to say, this has got to start. It's not going to start from the leaders, clearly. I think it really begins at home. It really begins in everybody's backyard, because otherwise I think that we're going to have a real crisis on our hands. And I think it's really that kind of perspective that we need to bring more and more to the table.
A lot of people would look at your film as so many other eco-thriller environmental movies and see, not necessarily in your case, but doom and gloom. So what would your message be? Because I think there's a lot of hope in your film. In fact, folks, you're looking at Montreal's version of Erin Brockovich. And if anyone is going to set an example, it's definitely Shannon Walsh. What kind of challenges did you encounter in this process of movie making? Because this was not only a personal issue for you as well. It turned into an art project that's a political and a personal one as well. So how do you encapsulate all that together?
I think it was one of the more difficult things that I've ever done in my life. To be honest, it was quite hard. But I think I was so inspired myself by the fact that, this story needed to be told. There's so many people that don't know about it, and really, bringing those challenges together and saying, like, let's try and get the message out as much as we possibly can, and also to be respectful of the real lives that have been lost in this process and the Indigenous communities that are at the front lines of these struggles. And for me, that was it was really with a sense of respect and grace for what they had been already undergoing. But yeah, it's definitely not an easy one. And getting information from government and industry was really difficult as well. This is a story that they don't want to tell. They don't want us to know about it, and this is the kind of thing where we really have to push to have independent voices telling us what's going on, because the government and industry have a lot of reasons to cover this up.
What would you like to tell our students out there? If there's a message about what you'd like to say, especially from your film, what would you like to say to our audience?
I guess I would say, I think at a certain point, each one of us has to ask ourselves, at what point will it be when the rivers have run dry? Will it be when we can't breathe the air anymore? At what point, personally, do you feel like it will be time to act? And I think taking that as a guiding point and moving forward with that, I think is one way that we can continue to engage ourselves in the world. And I really hope that the students at my alma mater, Concordia University, can bring that spirit of struggle and also of fighting for justice forward from what Concordia is known best for.
Thank you again for watching another segment of CUTV News. I'm Alexandra Trentafilopoulos, signing off until next time.